There we go. Liquid Hearth is live. We've done a tweet. Right, I'm going to do an intro, then we're going to get cracking. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Hearthstone half hour, or hours it will be because it's Pick Your Own Arena night. I'm Harry and this is FailCraft Casts. Hope you're well and good. So, as we always do on a Tuesday, we give you a vote. You pick your arena hero on Twitter earlier in the day, and then we go ahead and draft the cards in a new playerish friendly fashion, describing as we go, and then we also grab what hero you want, the cards that you want, and then we go and play them in a couple of games, and you can be in total control. Vote in the chat, type away if you're live on Twitch. If you're not live on Twitch, come join us in future, twitch.tv/FailCraftCast. So, welcome to Nuska, welcome to Tilly and all of the other folks who are joining in live. You've voted for Hunter today, so without further ado, let us jump on in. And also we have a special treat today, and that special treat is none other than I need to get my overlay sorted. Dogcam. There we go. You folks asked for it. And there is Shep, thanks to my wiser half. There he goes. So where are we going to drop him? I don't know where we're going to drop him. We'll leave him on the side there. He's just resting. It's quite warm up here. He's a pretty dozy chap. Okay, so you folks voted for some Hunter. Let's jump in straight to Hunter. And a bit of Rexor. So Hunter, pretty fun, pretty solid in arena. We can be throwing out lots of damage with our hero power, of course. Steady shots, 2 mana, 2 damage. So first up, let's go and draft some Hunter. So as the folks in chat decide what cards we're going to be going for, I'm just going to review how we do our arenas, our sort of basic 3 arena rules, whether you're brand new or whether you're a card game player already and you're just getting used to Hearthstone. Number 1, we always review our deck regularly, so we pick 3 points from 1 card to 30, and we then pick 3 points to review. The reason for that is so we can see how our deck is building and see if we need to add cards, take away cards, if we can form some kind of strategy. So we are going to review our deck at, say, 9 cards and 17 cards today. 2 review points, and then we can review it just before the end. It means that we're never going to get too far away when we're playing an arena or drafting from what our strategy is. It means we can mould the strategy as we go along, rather than just go and pick all of the cards and then suddenly look at the end and think, oh, I don't actually have a deck that makes sense. So that's rule number 1 that we go for. Rule number 2 is that when we review, we always take a look at our mana curve, and we always take a look at minions versus spells. Do we have lots of minions? Do we have lots of spells? The reason for that, again, it's just giving us an idea of how our deck is building and what else we're going to be doing. So if we review regularly, if we take a look at our mana curve, do we have lots of early mana cards? Is that going to be a rush deck? Do we have lots of big, heavy cost, high cost, late sort of mana cards, 5, 6, 7? Is it maybe going to be a control deck? Can be quite hard to do control in arena, but we'll come on to that soon. And then spells against minions. Do we have lots of minions? Are we going to be playing a very minion heavy sort of trading, brawling style? Or spells? We may be doing a bit of nuking or similar with spells. So let us grab that. And last but not least, we run through, as rule number 3, every single turn when we look at the cards that we picked. Go through turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and see what we can do on each turn, and have a little look at how the deck is kind of building in that way. So there are 3 rules. Let's jump on in. And first up, we've got Emperor Cobra, Gadgets and Auctioneer, or Arcane Golem. It is looking like... who's going for what? So remember, we're playing Hunter. Hunter has power. We've got lots of beasts that can get triggered and similar things. So first up, we've got a Cobra. Destroy any minion damaged by this minion. It's a beast. Hunters have various cards that trigger off beasts. We can buff beasts. And then this is not bad in that you can destroy any big minion with it if it takes 1 blow. So as soon as an opponent sees that hit the table, if they've got big minions, they're going to be trying to remove it. Good for trades. Gadgets and Auctioneer. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. Hunters have got some cheap spells. The Gadgets and Auctioneer tends to thrive in decks that can throw out a lot of cheap spells, generally. So, can we get lots of cheap spells? Maybe, but it would be a slightly funny Hunter deck. Last but not least, the Arcane Golem. Charge, Battle Cry, give your opponent a mana crystal. Great for rushing. With that charge and the Battle Cry, everyone's gone for Cobra, but giving your opponent a mana crystal isn't great. So, nicely done. Next, we have a Snipe, a Nightblade, or an Explosive Trap. Snipe. Secret. When your opponent plays a minion, deal 4 damage to it. Nice for sort of picking things off. So he's saying hello to Shep. Hello to the Doge. When your opponent plays a minion, deal 4 damage to it. So that will, if we throw it down at the right time, pick off big minions of our opponent. Next up, Nightblade. Battlecry of dealing 3 damage. It's 5 mana cost. It is slightly low in terms of stats, but then the Battlecry is meant to make up for it for some direct damage to your opponent's face. 4/4 stats aren't too bad. In a pinch, that wouldn't be such an awful card to pick. Last but not least, Explosive Trap. When your hero is attacked, deal 2 damage to all enemies. Remember, secrets, of course, can only trigger on your turn. Explosive Trap, so useful against aggro and pressure and other things. Welcome to Lurd, welcome to Rajan Org the Wise. It is great to have you all with us. So, are we going to go for a snipe, a Nightblade, or an Explosive Trap? We can see trap, snipe. Are we going to see any more traps or any more snipes? Ooh, or indeed a Nightblade if you're going to go a little bit rogue. A little bit of a rogue suggestion. So, snipe. Snipe can certainly soften up some minions if you play it at the right time. Nightblade, depends if we're going to be going for a rush deck or for a sort of a more mid-rangey hunter. All depends on what we can grab. That's looking like an explosive draft to me. So, let's go for explosive to keep things moving. Next we'll go for a Lord of the Arena, an Animal Companion, or a Kill Command. Okay, Lord of the Arena, 6/6/5, 6 mana. You've got a reasonable tank there, but slightly low on the health side. Not too bad for his mana cost in general. Can certainly be thrown in the middle of the game and cause some problems. Animal Companion, summon a random beast companion. That could be Huffer, the 4/2, Charging Boar, Leok, the 2/4, sort of, I'm going to call him a Savannah, I'm going to call him a flying thing like a griffin, a hippogriff, or similar. Or indeed Misha, the 4/4, actually 4/4, yeah, 4/4 bear tank. So Animal Companion can generally be pretty solid. Last but not least, Kill Command, deal 3 damage. If you have a beast, deal 5. It's brilliant in constructed hunter decks. If we have a reasonable amount of beasts, then it could be very decent in our hunter deck as well. So, what are we going for? I can see a couple of votes for companions. I can see a Kill Command coming in there. Looks like we have a vote on companion, in case anyone else is going to be coming in. Let's grab a companion, keep it rolling. Next we've got a Priestess of Elune, a Novice Engineer, or a Stormwind Champion. I can just type Stormwind Champion. Priestess of Elune, Battlecry, restoring 4 health to your hero. Novice Engineer, Battlecry, drawing a card. And Stormwind Champion, your other minions have 1/1. So Priestess of Elune, you can come in and heal yourself, top yourself up in the late game. 5 attack, 4 health. Well, mid to late game there. 6 mana drop. 5 attack, 4 health will probably mean that you can trade something off the table before that dies. Next up, Novice Engineer. Throw it down, you draw a card. It's going to die. It might do 1 damage to something. Good for accelerating your deck. Last but not least, the Storming Champ. Your other minions have 1/1. If in the mid to late game, and that is this card, you have the opportunity to drop that, and you've got the table full of minions, then that's going to be giving you a very handy global, I mean all of the minions on your side of the table, buff. 6/6, it'll probably live for a bit as well. Okay, well it's early days. We could go and just pick overall solid cards. You've got a couple of very solid cards. Hey to Chris Cat joining us. Hope you're well as well. Good to see you. Looks like a couple of champion votes coming out. Anyone else for anything else? We have the microphone turned off on Doge Cam, otherwise you would hear Shep snoring. It's quite warm up in our computer room where I'm streaming at the moment, so he's just chilling out and taking it easy. Champion, it looks like it is. So let's keep it rolling. Next, Hunter's Mark. An Iron Beak Owl, or a Shield Bearer. Okay, we're having a really weird cocktail of drafts. So Hunter's Mark, changing a minion's health to 1, that will let us pretty much trade away any big minion that we want. So reducing a minion's health to 1, whether it's a big tank or something nasty, it'll make it easier for us to do more mana efficient trades. Iron Beak Owl, Battlecry of silencing a minion. Silence is so useful in so many situations. The Owl is also a beast that can help us with various hunter effects. Last but not least, the Shield Bearer. Well, we throw it down for its 1 mana. It will live a couple of turns and slow our opponent down before we can then hopefully get our game plan set up and rolling. So, do you fancy any of those? No real sort of massive theme as it is towards all we're trying to do so far. But let's see if we can get something together. We'll take a look at 8 cards. That'll be our first deck review point. So we'll see if we can do anything then. Let's keep it on rolling. Lurking on like a vote for an owl at this point in time. Oh, you may be able to hear from the main microphone a little bit of dog snoring. For a small dog, he does snore very, very loud. I think we've got a bit of owlage. Okie dokie. Next, we have a Silverhound Knight, a Thralmar Farseer, or a Voodoo Doctor. So the Silverhound Knight, a cracking 2 for 1. The battle cry means that you summon a 2/2 additional minion for the cost, meaning that you get some nice table control. Thralmar Farseer, Wind Fury, you can swing twice once it's been on the table for its summoning sickness turn. Can't attack any minion you throw down, of course, unless it's got charge, can't attack first turn. And then it can start picking away at things, which is cool. And then the Voodoo Doctor, throw it down, restore 2 health, may get killed. Entirely up to use. Do you be fancying any of those? Silverhand, Thralmar, or Voodoo Doctor? Oh, we've got 1 for Farseer, 1 for Doctor. Let's see. He is chilling at the moment. He'll get excited if he can hear anything ruffling around in terms of food and other bits. Ooh, 1 for Farseer, 1 for Doctor. We have a split decision. 1 for Farseer and 1 for Doctor. Ooh, okay, I might go in that case for Streamer's choice. I'm going to go for Streamer's choice and go for Silverhand Knight. Controversial, I do like the 2 for 1s. Corehound, Snipe, or the Naruba Weblord. So, Corehound, it is a beast, it comes out late game. Are we going to get to turn 7 in an arena game? I'm not entirely sure, we can try. Very great attack, but with that 5 health, it's quite easy to pick off. Next we've got Snipe again, can throw that down. Potentially move some nasty minions if we play it at the right time. Then also Naruba Weblord, minions with Battle Cry cost 2 more. Well, we've got 2 minions with Battle Cry so far. It's looking like a Snipe might be a good option. Cool, looks like a Snipe. Yep, everyone for some snipage. Next we've got a Timberwolf, a Mad Bomber, or the poor starving buzzard. The nerfed card, nerfed into nerfdom, beyond the nerf. Starving buzzard still gets play. So, Timberwolf, your other beasts have 1 attack. We have 1 animal companion. We've got, yeah, a good amount of beasts so far. So, could be good for a buff. Mad Bomber, the Prince, the Stream Prince, dealing 3 damage, causing dreams to come true or causing horrific failure. Either way, Bomber is always funny. but as a 2/3/2 he's not awful. If you can play him with nothing on the table, you might do something useful. Last but not least, Starving Buzzard. Whenever you summon a beast, draw a card. He has been nerfed, as you've correctly identified, a big mana cost increase. But if you can unleash the hounds, he's also had 3 attack and 2 health now. He's got a little bit more stats to him. But we've got Buzzards. Obviously, Buzzard. No, changed his mind. Wolf. One for Bomber. We'll do a deck review and see how we're going at this point after this cards, because we'll hit 8. So at this point in time, we've got a split between Wolf and Bomber in our Wisdom currently. I'm going to try and stick with the Beast theme. I'm going to concur, because we've got a draw. I'm going to go with the Wolf. Buzzards, if we hadn't unleashed the hounds, might consider. But the Wolf will give us a buff, and we seem to be going for Beasts. Ooh, and here's a nice one. Next, I'm going to let you choose between an Elven Archer, a Houndmaster, or a Gnomish Inventor, and I think I know which one you're going to go for. Elven Archer, you can ping for 1 damage, and then after that Battle Cry of 1 damage, it's probably going to get knocked off the table. Houndmaster, Battle Cry, giving a friendly beast 2/2 and taunt. Very nice in terms of putting up walls on your side of the table. Last but not least, Gnomish Inventor will stick around for a bit. We'll let you draw a card too. So now we're at 8 cards. We're going to do our first deck review. Let's go through our 3 quick rules. 1, take a look at review often, which we're doing. 8 cards. 2, look at the mana curve. A little bit more in the early game, a little bit in the mid to late game, but we can't really establish a strategy so early. But it's good to see where our initial picks are going. More early to mid game at the moment, if anything. Then we take a look at spells against minions. Well, we've got an Explosive Trap and Snipe. We've got some secrets play that we can do. That aside, 6 minions, 2 spells. And then, last but not least, point 3, we're going to run through each card, each bit of the mana curve, and see what happens. Well, Timberwolf can go down at any time to buff the beast we have on the table. Explosive Trap we'll use versus aggro. Snipe we can throw down to remove or soften any big enemy minions. Ironbeak can soften and remove nasty on-table abilities with silence. Animal Companion will just throw out pretty much any time, I think, to get the animal benefit, the beast benefit, as early as possible. Cobra we can use to trade if we do need any kill commands or similar stuff. We can use that to trigger 2. Silverhound Knight will grab us mid-game control, and if we've got enough on the table in the late game, a Stormwind Champion should seal the deal for us. So, no strategy so far. We've got a fairly solid core of a deck. That's always what we tend to find when we're at the 8 to 10 card mark. Back to your draft, and you've gone for the Houndmaster. Very good choice. Next, we have a epic draft. Faceless Manipulator, Bestial Wrath, or a Big Game Hunter. Is it an epic deck draft or is it a rare? I'm not going to click. We've done this before. Either way, they're all shiny. So the Faceless Manipulator, choose a minion and become a copy of it. Very, very nice. If your opponent is throwing down something big and nasty, then you can copy that. If you throw down something big and nasty, then you can copy that too. You can just start cloning nasty things. Bestial Wrath, give a beast +2 attack and immune this turn. That's all well and good if you've got a big beast that could maybe remove one of your opponent's minions from the table. Quite situational. The Big Game Hunter, again, very mana efficient removal. Destroy a minion with an attack of 7 or more for 3 mana is an absolutely solid choice. Never seen a Bestial Wrath before. I don't think I've seen a Bestial Wrath. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's not an X card as far as I remember. Looks like we have a vote going with the Faceless. Next we have a Flesh-Eating Ghoul, Archmage, or a Priestess of Elune. So the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, whenever a minion dies, gain 1. If you can sacrifice lots of small minions or get this down in the early game, it can be nasty. Remember, that's any minion. It's not just your opponent's minions. If your minions die, you gain the benefit too. Welcome to Baby Silver. Good to have you with us. Next up we have Archmage. Spell damage of +1, 4 attack, 7 health. It's kind of tanky. We don't really have spell damage here. Well, we don't have any spell damage at all, so it's not going to benefit us there. However, it's a fairly tanky minion. It can do some trading before it gets got rid of. Last but not least, the Priestess of Elune. We've already covered it already. Oh, a mate's coming in. And your love of picking cards that have health restores, saying that I need the health, you know what, you are probably right. I can't really argue with that too much. Ghoul gets the votes. That's a nice, sensible early game pick. Next, we've got a Stormwind Knights, Haunted Creeper, and Kill Command. So the Stormwind Knight charges in at that 4 mana mark, very low attack. However, the 5 health means that the Stormwind Knight can probably trade away a few small minions before they disappear. Next up, we have Haunted Creeper, Death Rattle, summon 2 all-in-one Spectral Spiders, throw it down, kill things, and remember it's a beast, so we can use beast benefits on it as well. Any beasts we have too. And then it splits down into the 2 Spectral Spiders. And last but not least, the Kill Command. We now have lots of beasts. We've overlooked one of these. Do we want another one of these? I don't know. Entirely up to you. 1 for Creeper, 1 for Knight, 1 for Kill Command. We have a split vote. We need someone to jump in and make that decisive vote. Otherwise, I'm going to be jumping in and doing the old streamer's rights. Ooh, a swing towards Kill Command. Kill Command gets the nod. Next, a Mogushan Warden, Ascension Shield Master, or an Ogre Magi. Right, Mogushan Warden, a great soaky damage tank. You throw it down, he's going to not really do much in terms of damaging minions, but he'll certainly slow your opponent down. Ascension Shield Master, brilliant basic, 3 attack, 5 health, and will be sucking up some good damage there. There's a reason that he makes his way into a lot of laddery decks. And last but not least, the Ogre Magi, with a spell damage of +1. He is not really going to benefit us in terms of spell damage, but you know, for the 4 mana, he's not really too bad if we needed to throw something down and do some trades. So what do you fancy? So we've got a couple of votes for Senjin, and similar at the moment. Shield Master. Looks like a Senjin vote. Let's be grabbing some Senjin then. And with the next, we have a Tracking, a Mad Scientist, or a Chill Wind Yeti. Oh, sorry Nuska, snuck in a little bit too late. So for tracking, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. This is card draw, pure and simple, but it also thins our deck. So it's kind of does have a negative side in that you're discarding 2 cards. However, being able to pick one of those cards is generally useful, and knowing what you're discarding and remembering it is also pretty handy too. Next, Mad Scientist, Death Rattle, put a secret from your deck into the Ogre Magi would have affected both traps and Kill Command. That's a very, very good shout. Kill Command, yes, very true. I was forgetting that we had a Kill Command, but I did forget that Ogre Magi would have affected the traps. So a very good shout there, baby. Wouldn't have made a difference. Okay, Mad Scientist, we can pull in secrets like Snipe, like Explosive Trap. It will of course be at random when that dies if it's not silenced. Last but not least, we have a Yeti. So everyone going for the Yeti, really chunky, solid minion that can do us some goodness. Next we have a Freezing Trap, a Wolf Rider, or King Ooze. In the absence of Zano, in the absence of the Cult of Ooze, or maybe they're here, who knows. Freezing Trap, if we drop this at the right time, we basically can nullify the attacking threat of a big enemy minion. When an enemy minion attacks, it can attack anything. If it's a big minion and we return it and it costs 2 more, we could make it very expensive to play or totally tough to play too. Next up, Wolf Rider, throw it down, do 3 damage, it's then going to get removed. But a good charge damage. Last but not least, Acidic Swamp Ooze, the king of all streams. For 2 mana, his 3 attack and 2 health is great. However, the battle cry of destroying a weapon can be useful against other things. Okay, we have 3 votes for Ooze. Next, Silvermoon Guardian. When an Ooze hits the table, logical picking just goes straight out the window. But we like that. Silvermoon Guardian, Divine Shield 3/3. It's going to take some damage before it then gets popped off the table. Can do some trades. Unstable Ghoul, Taunted Death Rattle, 1 damage to all minions. Good against aggro, good to throw down if you've got things that benefit from having damage done to them, such as Acolytes of Pain and similar. Things that allow you. I would say the Chow again, I'm a firm Chow believer, best turn 1 opening. It is pretty solid. People fancying some Chow. Zombie Chow, the death rattle is not great. However, you use Chow mainly to trade against your opponent's minions. You're not really hitting your opponent to the face in the early game anyway. You want to get the table under control with a Chow. I see some votes for the Chow. Ghoul coming in. Oh, a vote for Guardian as well. Is there going to be a deciding vote? Otherwise Chow is going to get the nod. We're getting up to 16, 17 cards for a review point, so we'll draft a couple more cards and then I'll let you guys pick while we do a quick deck run through. Chow gets a nod. Narrowly. Chow is voted for first. Draggling Mechanic, Wind Fury, Harpy, or South Sea Deckhand. Draggling Mechanic with a battle cry of summoning a 2-1 mechanical draggling. This is a 2-for-1. Not a huge attack. The health will mean that it will stick on the table for a bit. Good for trades. Wind Fury Harpy, not slightly understated for its 6 mana, but the Wind Fury means that it will be swinging for 8 damage rather than 4 if it stays alive. And last but not least, the South Sea Deckhand. Charge while you have a weapon equipped. We have new weapons. Awkward. So it's not a great 3-pick here. You see, oh yeah, Dragon, oh Mechanic. Yeah, it feels as though that people are feeling some pick both. I can see. I think that's looking like a consensus for the Mechanic to me. Lots of vacillating and pondering. We'll grab that. If in doubt, a 2-for-1, giving us some more minions will always be good. Don't forget, we do have that Stormwind Champion that we can throw down. That could help us if we've got a lot of minions on the table. So, Frostwolf Warlord, Ogre Magi, or Oasis Snapjaw. We've covered the Ogre Magi as correctly shouted by Silver earlier. That will benefit our Explosive Trap and Snipe and similar. Frostwolf Warlord, gain 1/1 for each other friendly minion on the battlefield. Well, that could really solidify our mid-game and give us a lot of pressure. Or last but not least, the Oasis Snapjaw. We can make that into a tank with our Houndmaster if we get a lucky draw. We can also use that to soak up loads of pressure, potentially. We can use it against rush decks and various other things. Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle has got the nod. And hey, you know, it actually works very well in this deck because there's numerous things that will benefit us. It triggers Beast Mode and a lot of cool hunter cards. So, Acolyte of Pain, Ancient Brewmaster, Dark Scale Healer. Acolyte of Pain, if it takes damage, we draw cards. Drawing cards in card games is good. Unless it's silenced, this will do something for us. Next, Ancient Brewmaster, return a friendly minion from the battlefield to your hand. We can bounce, and we can bounce up minions to reuse their battle cries. We can pick up a minion from the table to heal it up and then drop it down. Whatever your fancies. So, got some utility there. Various different uses we can employ it for. Also, Dark Scale Healer is the third. We've covered before. 2 health to all friendly characters. And those of you who love heals in your life should probably go for that. And while you ponder, we're on 18 cards, so I'm going to be doing a little card review. Right, step 1, we can take a look and see that our mana curve is relatively early to mid-game. We're looking at an early to mid-game deck. It's not full-on rush, but it's certainly looking to win into the mid-game. We then take a look at spells against minions. I've got an Explosive Trap, a Snipe. I now have backed up an Animal Companion and a Kill Command. And then we also have nothing else. 4, broadly speaking, I'm going to say 4 spells, 14 minions. So we've got a minion-heavy playing style. Then we can look through, as our last sort of checkpoint, every turn and what we're going to be doing each turn. It looks like Brew, Dark Scale, Pain. Okay, Brewmaster gets the nods, and I'm going to let you guys choose while I do the final piece of our review. So, as we look through turn by turn to see how we're going to play, in the early game we can throw down Chow to start trading minions and get control of the board. Explosive Trap and Snipe will help us keep control. Timberwolf can be thrown down at any point to buff up our beast minions. Acidic Swampoos we can just throw down to attack with or remove a weapon. The Iron Cow will let us silence and punch through at any time in the game. Animal Companion goes down to just keep pressure on the table. Kill Command is control or finishing damage on enemy heroes. Cobra for control, Ghoul for pressure with minions, Brewmaster can ping back minions too, Chill and Yeti Dragon Mechanic. We're really filling the board with minions in this early game. We've got lots of good options. Handmaster can create tanks, Oasis Snapjaw can be tanked up or trigger our beast modes. Senjin will pin us really well into the mid game. That is a good pivoting card. With the Snapjaw and Senjin and potentially a Handmaster, we will really, if we've got the table under control or if the table is even, these should help us pull ahead in terms of trades. Faceless Manipulator we can throw down at any point to do some nasty copying of horrible enemy minions or our own minions if we want to get further ahead. The Silverhound Knight helps us get table advantage with more minions, and the Stormwind Champion will buff all minions we have on the table to finish up. So, strategy wise, I am thinking, it's looking like in the early game we're trying to get control of the table with minions, and we've got a couple of spells to assist us. We grab control in the early mid game with, look at all of our strong 4 and 5 drops. I feel that after trying to stay in control of the table in the early game and make trades, we grab control of the table in the mid game and hopefully try and finish it mid to late game at the moment. So I think that's our sort of strategy at this point in time. Strong early game drops and cards that can grab control of the game in the mid game or finish it in the mid to late game. So let's give those a go. Right, let's keep on going. What have we got? We have Sun Fury, Protector, Sun Fury. Yep, looks like a generally Sun Fury-ish vote. So we'll just quickly describe those. Secret Keeper, whenever Secret is played, gain 1/1. Could be good if we had loads of secrets, but not going to do that right now. Light Warden, good if there are heals. We don't have any. Sun Fury Protector just makes we can tank up the Dragon Mechanic, we can tank up the Oasis Snapjaw, the Brewmaster. It just really pins the deck together. So next we have Stormpike Commando, Frost Elemental, or Unleash the Doge. So, Stormpike Commando, throw it down, battlecry of 2 damage, 4 attack and 2 health. It will probably die, but if not, it will help you trade minions away or pop your opponent in the face for some damage. Frost Elemental, throw it down, battlecry of freeze a character. You can slow down your enemy heroes, deny one of your enemy's big minions perhaps an attack for a turn. So, and I think we're going for okay, and last but not least, Unleash the Hounds. I think Shep's agent is consulting him. Cool, so Unleash the Hounds. For each minion, summon a 1/1 Shep would charge. Looks though you've gone for Unleash the Hounds, but in all seriousness, works really well. Oh, we have dog movement. He'll be back. So, we've got Unleash the Hounds, and that will let us take some nice pressure in the mid game. We have Freezing Trap, Loot Hoarder, or Grimscale Oracle. So, Freezing Trap, secret when an enemy minion attacks. We've covered it once. Do you want to grab it again? Loot Hoarder, death rattle of drawing a card means that we can pressure nicely in the early game. Yeah, my wiser half unleashed the Shep. Loot Hoarder will let us draw cards. Grimscale Oracle, all other Murlocs have 1 attack. We have no Murlocs. So, Hoarder, Trap, Hoarder. Welcome, Sacred. Needs more card draw. Hope you're well and good, Sacred. So, you join us in the midst of our Hunter picks and draws. And what do we have? We have a Hoarder. Ooh, 1 for Trap. Hoarder. Okay, you guys have gone for some other bits and bobs. Most people use that trap against you, says Silver. I agree. Next, Cold Light Oracle. Pint-sized Summoner. Or Questing Adventurer. So, with a need more early games as Sacred. Yep, we could do with a little bit of that. We're sort of looking quite early to mid focused at the moment. So, Cold Light Seer, Battlecry, all Mother Murlocs give health. We have no Murlocs. But sometimes people just like opening that Murloc door. Just picking Murlocs because Murlocs. And who can blame her? Next we have Pint-Sized Summoner. The first minion you play each turn costs 1 less. Not bad if we throw it down, 2/2, and we could get some more minions in play. Last but not least, the Questing Adventurer. Whenever you play a card, gain 1/1. If we throw down lots of cheap cards around it, it will get big and bad and nasty real fast. So you're thinking, contemplating, we can see Questing Adventurer, we can see Adventurer, yes Adventurer, okay. Questing Adventurer, I think that we're going to have an Adventurer pick, it's looking good. Looking good for some Adventurer. Okay, Adventurer is getting some nod. But yeah, a good shout. All of these fulfill the early game criteria that Sacred has mentioned. So, Questing Adventurer is next. What are we going to be going for? A Young Dragon Hawk, a Grimscale Oracle, or Starving Buzzard. So, Young Dragonhawk we throw down with Wind Fury. He'll probably, or it will probably die in a turn or two, but if it stays alive it can do some chipping damage. Next, a Grimscale Oracle. We've covered it once, do we want it again? Last but not least, the Starving Buzzard. Whenever you summon a beast, draw a card. So, we've got 2 early gamers. We could take the risk on the Buzzard. Oh. You should see Shep jump onto the cam just there. All terrible, says that the card pick says Sacred. Some good dog walking around going on. Okay, turn Young Dragonhawk, Grimscale Oracle, and Starving Buzzard. Ooh, okay, we've got a Dragon, Buzzard, Dragon Scale, Dragonhawk. Ooh, thinking around. Looks like just a marginal vote for Buzzard. The Hound has returned. I think there may be treats going on the floor. Cool. Okay, let's sum up what you guys are trying to pick. We have Dragon, Buzzard, no, Dragonhawks. Officially cuter when awake. He sleeps a lot. Cool. I'm losing the countage. Buzzard, 2 buzzards. Dragon Scale, yep. Okay, I think we've got a marginal vote for Buzzard there. It's not a great draft, I agree with you. We have Hunter's Mark, and Neruba, Web Lord, or Oasis Snapjaw. Okie dokies. So Hunter's Mark we've grabbed, we've seen before. They will help us do some controlling. Neruba Weblord not great because we've got loads of battlefields, or a second Teenage Mutant Hero Turtle. Always an option. We do have some good tanking options in Sun Fury Protector, and also, of course, the Houndmaster. Let's not forget that. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. And we can see Mark. Okay, Hunter's Mark all the way throughs. Next up we have a Zombie Chow, we have a multi-shot, or Frost Elemental. So, Zombie Chow we have 1. Do you want to? Multi-shot, 3 damage to 2 random enemy minions. That will let us do some good controlling of the table if we need to. And last but not least, the Frost Elemental. We could free something on the table. It looks like some multi-shot votes are going in. Miss. Oh, multi. You folks opt in for the very sensible table control. Loving that. Next, Armani Berserker, the Booty Bay Bodyguard, or Snipe. Armani Berserker, well, when it gets enraged, we have a +3 attack. Could get nasty in the early game, a bit more early game if we need. Next, the Booty Bay Bodyguard. Well, it's a tank. The health is quite low. It's not going to stick around to the table for too long, but when it does, it can do some damage. Last but not least, we've got 1 Snipe. Do you want 2? we could throwing down bunches of snipes. We're really going to be annoying our opponent's minions in the early game. So, what do you fancy? So, what is it going to be? We see Armani, Berserker, Snipe. Ooh, they've come in with an Armani as well. Armani says Lord, Armani says Tilly, Snipe says Nuska, I can see that. Berserker says Sacred. Any of decide in voting? I think that's going to be an Armani. We're going to grab an Armani Berserker for some more early gamage. So around 27 out of 30. Never trust taunt minions with health low and attack, says Baby Silver. Yeah, I can understand that. There's some danger there. Okay, so next we have a freezing... Oh, how many freezing traps have we seen this evening? Acolyte of Pain. Oh, another Stormwind champion. So Acolyte will help us draw. Freezing, if we throw it down, then we could have some good pressure, but we've still not gone. You guys have gone against the freezings all the time so far. And last but not least, we said champion, Stormwind easy, says Sacred. Definitely get some good late game pressure in there. Like charges with more health and attack. Yeah, I can see what you're talking about. Welcome to those of you, by the way, joining us who aren't signed into Twitch. It's great to have you with us. We're picking our own arena and then we're going to jump in and see how the deck that you pick does. Okay, we got Stormwinds, champion, 4th FT, 4th freezing trap. Good count in Nuska. Yeah, it's crazy. It looks like that's a Stormwind champion vote. Oh no, hang on, trap, champion. Yep, we've got a champion. Goblins are scary. We have a deadly shot, an ancient Brewmaster, or a Silverhound Knight. We've covered the Silverhound Knight, we've got 1, do you want 2? We've covered the Brewmaster, we've got 1 again, do you want 2? And last but not least, the deadly shot, destroy a random enemy minion. Well, if there's nothing on the table, then we can throw down and remove any big minion that we so decide. Deadly, Silverhand, different races, voting going different ways. And I myself am distracted by... Oh, autofocus. Ah, there we go. Oh, he's moving. Okay, deadly. Silverhand. That looks like 2 deadlies and 2 Silverhands. We need a deciding vote. Knight 5 mana, 6/6, so good, says Sacred. Yeah, it is good. I did a streamer's choice when there was a bit of a sort of draw earlier and went for the first Silverhand Knight as well. And it might be time for another streamer's choice as we have a direct draw. No one fancying a Brewmaster. Deadly for the control. I'm going to go for Silverhand. And lastly, we have a pint-sized summoner, a mana addict, or a blood cell corsair. This has been a tough draft. It's been tough. There's not really been loads of awesome stuff for us to take a look at. We'll see how it goes. So, awesome draft. By awesome, you mean terror bad. So bad it's bad. We'll make it work. Applause. Summoner says Nuska. So yeah, we've covered all of these before. No, we haven't. Mana Addict, whenever you cast a spell, gain 2 attack for this turn only. Well, we've got spells. Not a single legendary, says Nuska. Yeah, hey, we don't need legendaries. Last but not least, the Blood Cell Corsair. Removing 1 durability from your opponent's weapon. Good if they've got weapons. Yeah, everyone going for the pint size because that will help us in a early game. Righty then, let's just review our strategy one final time before we get into some games. We've got huge amounts of early to mid game. We're an early to mid game, not a rushy type mid game finishy deck. If we don't finish by the mid or mid to late game, we're going to be done for. Next, let's take a look at spells against minions just for a bit of style. We've got a Hunter's Mark. 1, 2, 3. I can see 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's sort of 6 odd spells, 24 minions, a very heavy minion star. And then let's go through turn by turn and see how we play. Hunter's Mark comes down when we need to remove a big or dangerous threatening minion, be it a tank or a big late game finisher. Timberwolf can go down at any time to buff our existing beasts. Zombie Chow, throw down early game and use to trade. If we get it late game, it's not going to be so much use. Trap, Snipe, these are for controlling the table whenever we see necessary. Ooze, just because Ooze is king. But also we can use for removing weapons if we're against a weapon deck or similar. Berserker, Enrage +3, we throw that down an attack. Owl is situational for when we need silence. Loot Hoarder, we throw down an attack to get the card draw. Pint-Sized Summoner, we throw down to get cheaper minion summons. Sunfury Protector, we're throwing down when you must forgive the dog for anything he may be doing. So Sunfury Protector will let us help get some tanking going. Animal Companion we throw down at any point, and that would just very simply let us grab a useful beast at sort of turn 3, turn 4ish. Kill Command, throw it down with the beasts, either damage to the face or controlling big minions. And then we have Cobra Ghoul, all of these are sort of attacking focused minions, Questing Adventurer, multi-shot for table control, Brewmaster, and then we get into the mid to late game, and this is where we saw ourselves getting grabbed control of the table with the big chunky minions. Chillwind Yeti, Draggling Mechanic, Houndmaster will let us buff the minions, Oasis Snapjaw we can buff and then also make it solid with Houndmaster. Sinjin Shieldmaster as a tank to anchor. Snapjaw Houndmaster the dream, says Sacred, yeah I agree completely. Faceless Manipulator will let us trade, either copy big enemy minions or copy our own useful ones. 2 Silverhound Knights in the mid game will really, if we can get to that stage, let us dominate the mid game. We'll get a really good crammed table with minions. And then Buzzard if we really need to draw, but that's situational. Followed up with 2 Stormwind Champions. We need to flood the table with minions, get good early to mid game trades, and then by the mid to late game we should finish with Silverhound Knight and Stormwind Champion. So we have drafted your deck. Now let's jump into game and see how we can do. Looking forward to it. And welcome to Felix. Time no see, very good to see you as well.
Rexa versus Rexa. Let the hunt begin. I will hunt you down.
Okay, so we'll then just get a couple of games in, quick ones, and then we'll be finishing up for this eve. Right, early game we want to get stuff down and start charging through. I don't think I need a Hunter's Mark against another Hunter. I'm going to keep the pint size in the Armani Berserker. So what are we going to get? Okay, Sun Fury, nothing I can do turn 1. So let's see what we can grab. I'm thinking of probably, if I throw down a pint size, that'll be a big target. We instant pressure. Ooh, down goes a web spinner. Okay, well the web spinner will get traded away. I'm going to offer the trade with the Armani now instead. I don't want the pint size dying too quick. I can throw that down along with a bunch of other minions mid-game. So the web spinner, when it dies, of course it summons that random beast card, adds a random beast card to your hand. That can be any beast that's not a token. So he could get a King Crush, he could get another web spinner, he could get something pretty terrible. We just don't know. The joy of the random number generation. Okay, down goes the tank. We know that that'll certainly power us up. Sun Fury, I don't really see huge amounts of Sun Fury. I think it's probably time for a pint size. Now that does the first minion that you play each turn will cost 1 less. He'll probably go for that. I'm just going to go straight for the trade there. I'm going to offer him the trade against the Armani Berserker, which I'm sure he will probably take with something or another. Oh, and welcome to those of you joining. Good to see you. We have almost a couple more people, and we sneak up onto the live non-featured stream list on the Liquid Hearth. So hopefully a couple more people join. Arcane Shot incoming, and that is full-on Hunter removal, and leaves him with table position with the Haunted Creeper. Unleash the Doge is incoming, but we have no beasts. Alas, alack. I don't really want to be throwing down a Houndmaster at this point. There's nothing to be tanking up with the Sun Fury either. Unleash the Hounds feels like a bit of a waste. Really, I'm actually just going to throw in a very, very simple Arcane Shot and see what else we can grab. Very nice card backs. I believe that our opponent is playing with the BlizzCon card back. Shiny indeed. Down goes a Demolisher. 2 damage to a random enemy. Timberwolf coming down, +1. This is where our multi-shot would be very, very handy. Alternatively, Unleash the Hounds could be quite exciting as well. So, is it worth going for hyper-aggressive? I'm going to actually Unleash the Hounds this early in the game. A little bit mad, but what this will do is let me do this. There we go, get some removal going there. I could create a tank, but instead I'm just going to put some pressure onto the enemy hero. So yeah, Hound in, I'll get rid of that Demolisher just because I feel it's going to be awkward. And using the Hunter's Mark again, if he does throw down a big minion in the late game, we will rue using that Hunter's Mark. But for now, let's see what the 3 mana in hand. Hungry Crab, destroy Murloc and gain 2/2. That looks like a suffering drop, unless there are loads of Murlocs in this deck. Okay, what is the secrets? Zombie Chow, could that still be of use to us? Houndmaster, friendly beast of 2/2 and taunt. Well, we can test and see if it's a snipe. Okay, and then if I wanted to, I could Sun Fury. Is it worth the Sun Fury? Well, first let's do a test. Okay, I'm actually going to risk Sun Furying here. Now, you're going to be saying, why aren't you doing that on the turtle? 2 tanks at this point in time. I already know that from my attack... Oh, well, I know it's not a snipe. Let's do a little bit of Hunter playing around secretness. We've already played a minion, so we know a Hunter cannot have a snipe. We know it's not a freezing trap. We've not attacked the hero, so it could be an explosive trap. It could be an explosive trap or a misdirection, if I've got it right. And in comes, oh nasty, an Arcane Shot, removing the Houndmaster. Lots of pressure. I want to get rid of that Alarmo bot. Start of your turn, sort this minion with a random one in your hand. It could be something big and nasty. I don't really want to take that risk. Ooh, your other minions having 1/1, however that is something I would like to get involved with. But the other options do involve throwing down Animal Companion. So, is it going to be, yeah, Misdirect or Explosive, I think, something that involves attacking enemy hero. Firstly, let's get rid of that Alarmo bot. I don't see too much disadvantage in just controlling the table at this point. Reason for that is he's going to need something quite multi-shotty or similar, and then if I can remove this, in fact no, it might be worth removing that. If it's a misdirect, if it's an explosive trap, if he tips one of those, it will destroy all these. If it's a misdirect, I need to attack with my smallest minion, the Sun Fury. It could still destroy the Hound. So misdirect or explosive, I guess. When your hero is attacked cards, it's not any of the others, because we played minions, we've attacked, and we have also, yeah, we've, yep, covered. Ooh, hello. Starving Buzzard actually having some use. Now that damage suggests that this is an explosive, and that the explosive of course triggers when we attack enemy hero, so I want to get rid of his sides of the table to start with. And let's have a think. I don't see why I can't just throw this down. Now, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna let's test it. Yep, it's an explosive. Okay, we lose our tank, but that goes down, that goes to the face. I can then control that with that. Do I want to go for a Zombie Chow? I don't have any beasts down. The Zombie Chow he will hit to heal him at this point in time, so now I need to keep the Zombie Chow in hand. Timberwolf, I'm going to throw down, could get removed. So, we managed to, those 2 Stormwind Champions, I was wondering whether we actually get those out in this game, but we have. Okay, he's Cold Light Oracling, you know that he must be quite desperate. Down goes an Arubian Egg, but at the moment we have 7/14. 20, 7, 14, 8, we've got 21 damage. So what is this coin going to be? Steady shot. Do we have a lethal? I think we have a lethal. There we go. Nice stuff. So, good first game, team. Let's get into what should be our final game and see if this deck concept is running out. So that actually worked okay. We got the pressure in the early to mid game and we managed to actually get down our Stormwind champions. I was wondering whether we'd actually be able to drop those in Arena. A lot of Arena decks are very early game focused, but it did lovely stuff. We had that precise amount of lethal that we needed. And welcome Tim, welcome Zano, great to have you with us. Okay, we now have a Shaman. So, manner of play still quite similar. I'm actually throwing back all of this and I'll keep the loot hoarder because we need those early game cards to start doing some trades. In comes the Zombie Chow, a fantastic turn 1. And I think nothing wrong with just going for that. Now Zombie Chow against Shaman, brilliant. Why? 2 attack, 3 health. We can be using this just to trade away totems. And okay, he's got a stealthing Worgen there that could be of some irritants. But I'm just going to Zombie Chow it up. Chow value, and there goes the Chow value. We can see that the trade has been made with the Worgen Infiltrator. Abusive Sergeant down on the deck. Right, now I can just loot hoarder. I'm not going to... Coining into a Silverhand a turn early could be quite strong. I'm going to loot hoarder at this point, see if he wants the... if he wants to go for the trade. Hey, you know what? There are enough people here that we have made the little stream list, I think, when it updates. Living the dream. Are we on the Liquid Hearth list? That's good. Okay, while I was looking away, our opponent has gone throw down a Feral Spirit. How antisocial. But in all seriousness, Feral Spirit, awesome card. 2/2/3 Spirit Wolves with Taunt. The first minion I play each turn costs 1 less. Am I just going to be coin into a Yeti and be like, so I hear you like Yetis? I think that could be fun. I'm going to coin into a Yeti because Yeti, 4/3, or I could go for a Summoner and an Ooze. Let's start creating some trades. You could take my Yeti if you wanted to. Coining into the Knight would have also been quite strongs. Teenage Mutant Turtle, well, we can use just the big health of the turtle to start trading away and hope that we're going to draw see a Houndmaster. Explosive Trap also would have been a very good option in softening things up here, actually. In fact, looking back on it, if I'd charged in first with my my loot hoarder, then I would have drawn the Explosive Trap earlier, meaning great joy and justice for all. So I now know that because I can wipe 3 of those out in one go with that trap, that's really my obvious play. I don't think he's going to drop a weapon, but should we just drop Ooze for Ooze's sake? That's never normally a bad thing, right? I'm going to throw down the pint size, and then I'm going to trade that away. Because when he attacks my hero, if he has sense, he will probably attack my minions first and do the trades. Yeah, he's probably anticipating the Explosive Trap now at this point. Shame I didn't have a tank to back things up. But in terms of tempo, if I can get tempo back through this play, then I can throw down Silverhound Knight and grab tempo next turn, because I'll have control of the board. So, although I've lost some things, you know, I've coined into my sort of bigger Yeti earlier in the game. There we go. Full on trade with 5 mana left to go. Spectral Knight, very, very nice. That's going to be painful, and it's certainly not going to be overwhelmed by my Explosive Trap. It's going to get some damage on me. So a Snapdraw, I think a Questing Adventurer into an Ooze would certainly give me enough to trade that, or I can just Silverhand.
Ready, sir.
So we've got our 6 down. We have a straight trade up for the Silverhound Knight, Fairy Dragon's older brother, as we call it. Totemic Call. Now, is he going to pick a spell out that's going to remove that too? Down goes a Harvest Golem. So our opponent's grabbed some really nice solid minions, 2 for 1 there. That'll be doing some pain as well. So we're into a 6-6. I think there's nothing wrong with just throwing down another one of those. And of course he's still not attacked the hero, so our Shaman is trying to play around our secrets very nicely. However, he's played minions, he knows it's not a snipe. Like we did in the last game, he's probably anticipating now a trap or a misdirect. Explosive trap or misdirect. Now he knows he's going to trigger it now. Note that he's doing the trades and everything before he plays any minions or anything else. And the explosive trap also hasn't quite taken it out. Dark-Iron Dwarf buffs up 4-1, that's going to die, but then also pop another minion, and our opponent is just going to have table control there, and with a 4-4 to boot. So tempo flowing back and forward in this game at the moment. What can we grab? This is the question we'll lose. We've still not seen the weapon. Questing Adventurer I could get quite nicely buffed. I could make it 2-2, 3-3, 4-4. But that would have to involve playing a Timberwolf. Oasis Snapjaw. Well, that will let us trade some bits away. No doubt about it. But I think that I'm going to questing into an Oasis. Then weirdly, I'm going to remove this. Because if I can get 2 damage on that, then I can take it out with the Snapjaw next to go. Okay, so we're sort of borderline here as to whether we get some trade in or what.
Are you ready for this?
Glad everyone likes saying hello to Shep. And we'll be charged £100 an hour for his services next, I'm sure. Okay, so some nice trades coming in from the opponent there. We've got a Searing Totem up, Archmage going on the table. Now that is just solid minion that can trade stuff away. The Golem comes in, the Adventurer's down with 1 to spare. So what can we grab now? Well, we can actually grab a bit of tempo back here with Sinjin. I'm going to throw down a Sinjin for the taunts, and then actually we've left it long enough. The use must attend. And Timberwolf will give me that additional 1 attack if I so desire, but the first thing I'm going to remove is this from behind the tanking. Try and get some table controls. When did I start? We started about an hour ago, so we'll be finishing up. When did I start this stream? 2 years ago. Oh, when did I start? Good point. No, not 2 years. It would have been about early this year, I think. Maybe late last year, early this year. But I was doing more YouTube videos rather than streaming live, so probably earlier this year, I think. Early 2014. I had to think of what year it was for a second then. Okay, so this is now looking a little bit more painful. Our Shaman is doing very well. The Lightning Storm has just totally trashed our side of the table. Direwolf Alpha goes down, and suddenly we have lots of nasty minions doing some nasty damage. All I can really do here is now throw down Animal Companion. Oh, and that's exactly the Animal Companion I would have liked to draw. Misha. So this will keep us alive for a bit. Oh, and down goes a Wolf Rider. That's buffed to 4 with the Direwolf Alpha. It's going to take away my tank in one go. Lovely jubbly. So nicely played by our Shaman. He's managed to really grab some good control cards. Okay, so Flesh-Eating Ghoul goes down, we've got 6 left to go. I think that is very much a well played. So, Storm and Champ. And a well played, so very nicely played. That Shaman deck. Now note, cards like the Archmage did help when he threw some spells, but really he's just picked lots of solid core cards, kept them flowing. So all well and good. We'll then turn and then let our opponent grab that. So, lovely stuff. Cool, so thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's Hearthstone half hour, well, more like an hour, given that it's Arena Tuesday. What we have done this evening, you guys picked Hunter, we picked a Hunter deck, we had the debut of Dog Cam, which was awesome, and then we took one win and we also took one loss, so we saw what happened when we could get control of the game in the early to mid game. Really nice first game. However, when we got controlled ourselves in this game against a Shaman, it was a little bit rougher going with our deck, and when it comes down to that kind of level, it's really who gets the table under control first, and here he's got the minions that they can just keep playing upon playing, turn upon turn upon turn. So, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're live, do not go away. We might do a little bit of a silent stream. Either we can play some more games of this off mic, or play something else entirely. If you are on YouTube, then please do come and visit sometime. Twitch.tv/FailCraft Cast. We go live on the whole Monday through Friday. We'll always tweet on at FailCraft Casts when we're going to go live. YouTube is youtube.com/FailCraft Casts, and you can find over 100 episodes of Hearthstone Half Hour there, as well as some Heroes of the Storm, fun Minecraft, bits of Evolve, all kinds of other bits and bobs, mainly Hearthstone and Blizzard games.